All right, thank you so much for coming out this morning to 1 Million Cups Dallas. We are a nonprofit organization that is run by volunteers. We meet here every Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. And a fun fact is that every 1 Million Cups in the United States meets Wednesday morning at 9 a.m. So it's not just us here today, it's everyone on the Central Coast and the Central Timeline here today. Hanging out and learning about startups. So if you haven't been here, the format is that we will have two startups give a 6-minute pitch each, followed by 15 minutes of Q&A. So that's a good time to ask them any questions that you have, give them feedback on their presentations. Anything helps them that improves as a startup and as a presenter. So thank you for that. First up, I think we don't have our person on the slides today. First up, we have David Funk with DYC Resources. Thank you. Please stand up and give him a round of applause.
Appreciate that. My name is David Funk. I'm one of the co-founders of DYC Resources. We are a software design company, and that's definitely not my background. My background was 20 years as a CEO for a nonprofit. But in that role, one of the challenges you have is raising money. And so born out of that challenge, this idea came about. And so my partner couldn't be with us here today. He lives in Parker, Colorado, South Denver. But he's the chief architect of the software we'll be talking about today, and it's all original source code. No, it looks like. Okay. So we also have some great mentors backing us up. Laura Barnes is from the Boulder, Denver area. Met her this spring. Our company was a part of an accelerator program out there called Boomtown. Anybody here heard of Boomtown in Boulder? You have one? Okay. Josh Saragi, CFO Firestone, Mike Howard, and then the strategy group is our marketing firm. So what if every time in the last week when you went out to eat, you filled up with your car with gas, you made an online purchase or shared a cup of coffee with a friend, you also made a donation for a charity or a nonprofit organization that you were passionate about. You didn't have to be asked to do it. Our software allows you to do that, just that, by rounding up your everyday purchases and financial transactions to the nearest dollar, and then making those tax-deductible contributions for a nonprofit that you support. Now, roundups are becoming more and more common in our culture today. Companies like Lyft and Panda Express allow you to round up your point-of-sale transactions with them. The challenge is, though, that roundups then go to the nonprofit or the charity they support, not necessarily the one that you support. Companies like Acorns and Bank of America have been doing roundups for multiple years. In fact, Bank of America, I think over a decade now, has had a roundup app that allows their credit and debit card customers to round up their daily purchases, and the roundups go into your savings account. Anybody familiar with Bank of America's? Okay. And then Acorns does roundups for your retirement investments. So our company kind of looked at those two templates when we launched this idea. In 2015, a record $372 billion was donated in the country to nonprofits. Most of that, the vast majority, over 70%, came from individual contributions, small monthly donations. There are over 1.5 million registered nonprofits in the U.S., so this space that we're in as a company is a very large space. We're trying to address two of the key problems, though, that charities and nonprofits face when raising money. One is donor fatigue, and we all understand what that is, and especially with the Hurricane Harvey and some of the natural disasters lately. People get inundated with requests for donations, and it does create donor fatigue, both for the organizations that are asking and for the end user, the donor. The other problem we're trying to address is that as an aging donor base. And we're talking about my generation right now, baby boomers, because baby boomers are retiring right now at the rate of 10,000 a day in the U.S. And they're the single largest giving demographic in the country. And so for charities and nonprofits, they're going to have to figure out how to pivot to younger donors pretty soon, or 10, 15 years from now, they're going to be out of business. So we're eliminating donor fatigue by simply creating automated roundups. You can link any bank account that you have to our software, where our software is integrated with a network of over 18,000 banks and financial institutions. developed by Intuit, the developers of QuickBooks, and so we're integrated into their system, and it gives multiple opportunities for the end user to create roundup accounts. Once you create that account, just like my Visa card's linked to the software, I have a checking account linked to our software. Every purchase, it just rounds up automatically. It doesn't matter where I'm spending my money, and it rounds it up to the nearest dollar automatically. So we're eliminating the whole need to even ask people to give, because once you create your roundup account, you're giving organically out of your everyday purchases every day. 365 days a year, 24/7. So I mentioned baby boomers, the challenges. We're retiring right now, 10,000 a day. So it's time for nonprofits to begin to pivot to Gen X and millennial donors. And we believe our software is the perfect fit for millennial donors because it's all linked to online banking, and app technology is something that's clearly in their wheelhouse. I have 3 sons who are millennials. I don't think they write checks for anything. They do all of their banking online. And app technology and so forth doesn't scare them at all. 92 million millennials in the country. So we are a B2B business. We license our software directly to the nonprofit, and they in turn market it to their donors, the end users. Right now we have over 60 clients in 15 different states. We're planning to expand into Canada this fall. We're working with a company up there who will be the exclusive resellers of our software in Canada. And they're called Donate Your Change CA. Or okay, 1-minute warning here. So our goal is to raise over $300 million in the next 3 years for our clients. That equates to 1 million roundup accounts at just $1 a day. Very achievable. And we've acquired a new domain name called Empower Your Change. We're planning to expand. I have a couple of meetings set up in the next month with a couple of regional banks where I'm from, in Wichita, Kansas, if I didn't mention that before. And so we want to start using our technology to create roundups for people's savings accounts, college funds, pay off tuition loans, and anything that really needs recurring revenue. We see ourselves as an innovator, therefore, in the fintech industry, not just as a fundraiser for nonprofits, but also to create commercial roundup transactions as well. So, Donate Your Change, say we're today's giving platform for tomorrow's donors. Thank you.
Great job. It was like exactly 6 minutes. Thank you for making it down. So welcome to Dallas as well. I also want to point out to anyone on the board, we've flip-flopped the teams, just so you guys know. So our first question for you in the Q&A is, what can the local startup community do for you?
Appreciate that question. Usually it's the last question I get asked. So honestly, just help me get our word out. I put one of our business cards in each of the chairs here today, but you know, we're trying to get the word out to nonprofits. So if you support a charity or a nonprofit that you'd like to see be the beneficiaries of automated roundup donations, please help us get the word out, spread the word. And you've got my contact information if there's a particular organization. If you go to our website and see the organizations that we're currently working with. So if you don't see one that you'd like to see in there, give me a call or send me an email. I'd love to reach out to them. Thanks.
Awesome. And now I'm going to open it up to the audience. So this is, if it's your first time here, I definitely recommend participating in Q&A. It's one of the best ways to get value out of this event. And one of the special things about 1 Million Cups is you really get to ask anything. So keep that in mind as you're thinking of your questions. And I will come around with the mic wherever I see your hands up. So yeah, we've got time for about probably 7 or 8. I see one back there who I'll start with. And if you want, you can introduce yourself briefly before you ask.
Max Motorville, software consultant. One thing I didn't understand, I'm sorry. How does it work? The payments should be made through your mobile application in order to be rounded up. Is that right?
Good question. So what we've done is, my partner has done, is created a system where all of these roundups occur in real time. They aggregate in our system. So once you go to our website, and it is a web-based app, okay, it's not an app that you download from an app store. So you either go to our website or to a separate URL that we've created for our clients. We call them microsites. But from that landing page, you log in, create a user profile, and then it's a 3-step process in our system to link your payment method and your bank account to the software itself. So the donor can set a daily limit, $1 a day, $2 a day, whatever they're comfortable with. They put in the payment method, credit or debit card they're going to use, and they link it to the bank. So if it's USA Bank or Bank of America or Wells Fargo, it doesn't matter, over 18,000 banks in the system. Once your software is linked, then every purchase from that point forward just keeps track of it. Whether it's a 3-cent roundup or it rounds up a whole dollar if it ends in an even dollar transaction. Those aggregate in the system, and when you get to $20 worth of roundups, there's a one-time charge to your credit or debit card linked to the system. That shows up in your bank statement, and then those $20 batches go into a holding account that we've created from like an escrow account, and they're held there until the 15th of the month. And so all of the roundup transactions in our system for our clients for the month of October, for example, on the 15th of November, we will transfer those into their bank account through an ACH deposit.
I'm sorry, I guess I still didn't understand. The main point is, in order to be rounded up, does a transaction have to be originated through your application?
Once it's linked to your bank account,
Oh, so you are actually seeing the transactions on the bank account.
Yeah.
You basically log in through, I mean, they're either online system or I guess you do the accounting. You do the accounting through the QuickBooks, right? That's
through QuickBooks.
okay. So I understand now how it works. Okay, so basically you are seeing all of the transactions
Yes.
of the user. Okay, thank you.
Exactly.
Cool. Anybody else have a question? Yes.
My question is scenario based. Say, for example, in my debit card account, I have $1.55.
Mm-hmm.
I make a transaction for $1.51. What happens?
Okay, so if you purchase something with your debit card for $1.51, it will round it up automatically to $2. Okay? That 49-cent roundup aggregates in the system. It keeps track of all of those until you reach $20 worth of roundups. At that point, it batches those and creates a one-time donation, a one-time charge on your debit card for that $20 batch. So on your bank statement, your debit card statement, you're not going to see the 49-cent roundup. You'll see that in the back end of our system. When you log in, it'll keep track of all those roundups. But on your bank statement, all you're going to see is the $20 one-time batch. Because merchant account fees would eat us up at 49-cent roundup.
The question is that there's only 4 cents in the bank account.
Oh, 4 cents. I'm sorry, I missed that. If you only have 4 cents,
What's the scenario?
Hypothetically.
yeah. So very rarely we do have charges denied. Okay, our authorized.net is our gateway merchant account. Every once in a while, we'll have charges denied for insufficient funds. Very
That's-
rare.
Let's see a hand.
Hi, Randy Oaks.
Randy.
So I heard you have one method of revenue is just by charging back to the nonprofits. Do you not have another method of revenue generating through the holding of the funds? Sounds like you've got a time period you're holding the funds, so.
Yeah, they're held in a trust account that our accountants set up to ensure the tax deductible nature of the donations. They're held in a trust account till the 15th of every month.
So does your software see the actual locations where the purchases are being made? You have access to that data?
Yeah, so, well, as the donor can, okay, it's all confidential on the back end, but yes, the donor logs into the roundup account, you'll see every transaction, where it was made, the date it was made, the amount of the transaction, the amount of the roundup. If I had time, I'd log in and show you my roundup account up here, and show you what it looks like, but the organizations don't see where you're spending your money, okay? All they see is the batch roundups that come into the system.
Does your company have access to that data?
Where you're making your purchases?
Yeah, access to, like I said, all of that metadata.
Yeah. When I log in to the admin side of ours, all I see are the amount of the roundups and the batch roundups. I don't see where they're making the purchases. Only the end user can see that. Yes, John?
So I log onto your website looking for the non-profit that I want my money to go to. Okay, so my question is, this sounds fantastic. How can I get on your website? I would love these 20 cents.
You want to be a nonprofit?
Yeah, this sounds great. So how do you stop people like me just saying, hey, put me on your website?
Yeah. So we have an application process you go through. And we scrutinize and screen the applications to make sure they're registered nonprofits and not just someone trying to create roundups for their personal advancement.
After 3 months, you keep checking it on me, or what do you do? I mean, I suddenly changed my operation.
So have you decided to set up a kind of a phony nonprofit, you mean, or?
I don't know.
Yeah, we honestly, we're very careful about who we license our software to. I'm not concerned that anyone we sign to date would ever have an issue like that. We make sure, first of all, they are indeed legally registered nonprofits, but also we're looking for nonprofits that have been established, been around for a while, and ones that we feel like we've got some kind of personal connection with. I have independent sales reps in the field that are reaching out and contacting these organizations. And a lot of them are people they know firsthand. So. Yes?
Sorry. So I have a question about your marketing plan to get more nonprofits and more donors. When my shameless plug, when I use the app to go to your website to then try to sign up for your account, I scrolled and looked through the limited list that it seems you have right now for charities and,
Yeah.
So I don't know if any of those resonate, but I know there's lots of lists or things like that. So what is your plan to go get more of those, and then what's your marketing plan to go get more of me?
Again, we're working primarily through independent reps. Okay? People out in the fields. I've got reps in multiple states around the country, and then we're working, as I said, with an exclusive reseller now of our software in Canada. There's a team of about 5 sales reps up there who will be doing this for us. So honestly, that's kind of the primary method. We're trying to drive people through search engine activities, trying to drive people to our website, create greater awareness out there in the internet with our footprint out there. But primarily just through the independent reps that we're trying to market this. And thus far, it's working well, and we're signing up new organizations every week. So
that was actually a part of my question as far as marketing strategy for targeting millennials. You kind of answered it through her, but if you were to download the app or go onto the website and kind of finagle with the app, is there a trajectory of progress as far as, let's say I donated or rounded up, an amount of money, these charities that I've selected, am I able to see where these transactions are going, and as a millennial, get some kind of feedback as far as where the money is being rounded up to?
Yeah, 2 good questions. I'd say, first of all, just to correct again, it's not an app that you're going to download. It is a web-based application. So you're going to link your bank account through our website or the microsites we create for our clients. Just kind of a co-branding of our website with their name and logo. So the American Heart Association, for example, one of our clients, would have kind of a co-branded microsite for them. Every one of those microsites, the nonprofit actually lists what their goal is for this particular program, how much money they're hoping to raise, and how they plan to use the money. So as a donor, you go onto the microsite, you'll see what their targeted goals are, how they plan to use that money.
Do we have any more questions? We've got time for about 2 more. Sure.
So who issues the tax return certificate? It's your company or the non-profits?
I'm sorry, say that again, who chooses?
Like if you are donating continuously, you can get some tax return, right?
Uh-huh.
And who issues that certificate? It's your company or it's the
nonprofit. We have a back-end report system for the organization. They create all the donor reports out of the back end. It's just a downloadable Excel spreadsheet in CSV format that they can export all the donors in the system and import that into their bookkeeping software, receive them out of that.
Thank you.
Awesome. Do we have anybody with a final question? Otherwise, I have a really good one that I'm going to ask. Okay, I'll ask you a great question.
Where's the restrooms on this building? No, go ahead.
So my question is, kind of in getting this company started, how did you initially kind of recruit your team around this at the very beginning and kind of get things started?
Well, again, my background was a nonprofit CEO. I had 20 years experience. So I had a lot of contacts in the nonprofit world and just reached out to people I knew through that network primarily. So right now I have reps in Florida and California. Most of them are in Colorado, the Midwest area though, where most of our clients are right now. And then again, we launched in about 3 weeks in Canada. So excited about that. Let's see where that's going to lead us. Okay.
All right, well, I think that wraps it up with, we're just about over with time for Q&A. And if you guys had some lingering questions you want to ask, feel free to stick around after the event. If you're able to hang out for a little bit afterwards and address some questions one-on-one, that'd be great.
Okay.
Thank you again.
Thank you.
Thank you again, David. That was a great presentation. And thank you so much to our sponsors. Without y'all, this wouldn't be possible. So thank you to Fathom Software for the coffee. If you are currently working on a startup that has software development needs, talk to Chirag, who has been running the questions today. Our video is being provided by Michael K. Brunner Photography, and he's been in the back with the video camera. If your business has any video capturing needs, feel free to talk to Michael. He's very fun. Normally we have Pertu here providing snacks. So if you aren't a regular member, do come back. I'm sure he'll be here next week, and they are usually here providing delicious pastries. And of course, thank you so much to the deck who are providing this space for us to meet in today. If you are a startup who has any office needs, feel free to find Emmanuel or Rachel over on that side of the room, and they can show you around. And up next we have Teksun, and that presenter is Brajesh.
Hello everyone, good morning. So my startup is Teksun, and our product is, we call it as a TAC. That's a tracking solution product. So it's a solution, and the product we come up with the idea to, having a trouble in the routine life, that we forget a lot of things, valuable assets and things, into a couple of places, maybe in home or maybe in office area, and maybe in a places where the GPS can't be helpful to us, and to track the valuable things, or maybe a asset, or maybe a person or something like that. So through that, we come up with a technology solution which can help you to track those kind of stuff. So the problem we identified, as I said, that to have an issue to have tracking into the indoor places. So there's a lot of indoor areas, like into the building, into the home, maybe into zoo or museums or amusement park, airports, into the healthcare domain. So all are these different places where the GPS will not work because under the road the signal is not coming and the GPS don't work. So we built a technology solution with the use of Bluetooth and Wi-Fi based system and smallest size tracker device, which can help to track into this kind of difficult areas. So this is how our product looks like. So we have a small tracker product and a very small tiny gateway device. So the gateway do have a Wi-Fi and the Bluetooth combination, and the tracker device work with the Bluetooth. So through that technology, you can expand the solution into any different areas, might be outdoor, might be an indoor area, and we can have a tracking into it. So we used to often have a habit to lose a couple of things and the valuable assets. So at any kind of those stuff, you can just attach that tracker device, and that helps you to give you a notification reminder if you are losing anything, or if you are forgetting anything on any places, or if you need to know the last location. So the solution do have the product as well as the web and the mobile application. Currently we come up with a web and Android app, and we are working with the iOS app development. So the Android app and the product is already there on our website and the Play Store. These are the possible market where the solution can be useful. As I said, the school, which is again an indoor area, and within the school area, we can able to have a track of students. Within the hospital, we can have patient tracking and all their data, which is currently manually logged in the register, like at what time the patient is moved to the operation theater, or their check-in and check-out, and all those stuff can be tracked. And you can also do the geofencing kind of stuff when the person is moving without the clearance. It can be notified. The possible use cases into the underground mines, airports, hotels and resorts, shopping complex, and zoo and amusement park. But all from these different use cases, we are currently targeting the initial use case with the airports, hotels, and shopping malls, and the amusement parks and zoo and those areas. Those are the initial target market for us, and that's what our solution, and those are the market where we are going to pitch the solution. And this is how our business model look like. The beacon and that tracker device is a very low-cost tracker device with the multiple options of wearable type of options, as well as small and medium size with different range options. With the free mobile and web application, and the revenue can come from user-based subscription based on what features they are buying. So this is just a small competitive advantage with the product that we have, and the similar kind of tracker products already there into the market. So we come up with a solution which is a very low cost compared to the all solution available into the market, as well as the technology enhancement. These are the competitive advantages of the solution. This is our small team. I'm from Dallas. Our co-founder is from Denver, and the other 3 people are from India. This is the future product plan for 2018, what we are building. This is a short experience of the people. We installed the solution into one school, one cafeteria, and in one small hospital. So that's it. That's the tracking solution, TACT.
Thank you so much. First question for you is just what can the startup community do for you?
Definitely the startup community can help us to provide more inputs and the connections where we can push our solutions, and might be inputs for the future product that we are planning to develop into the same that we initially currently built a couple of, it's a 3rd level of prototype already built, and it's already, we are already working with a couple hundred of installations are done till now. But the startup community definitely can help us on improving the solutions or the user experience.
Wonderful. So we can get you some feedback right now. Go ahead and open up the floor for questions. Any hands? Got one right here.
You said you have a few hundred installations out in the field. So I was just curious, how many paying customers do you guys have right now?
It's the first solution that we built is for the consumer market. So that solution is, the product is having 2 different solutions. One is an individual tracker solution, one is a solution with the gateway device. So the gateway device solution is required onto the places which is a larger area where you need, reputation of getting more range through the gateway devices. So currently, whatever we have pushed into the market, that's an individual tracker solution. So that's an individual tracker product which can be attached with any of things like your keychain, through which you can track within your home areas or maybe those kind of use cases. So we just sold couple hundred devices into that particular use cases, and the other use cases with the gateway devices that I shown. Those are, we started in 2016, so those are the use cases which we implemented right now on 3 different areas, the cafeteria and the hospital and one in the hotel area. Thank you.
Hi, actually, I think you may have just answered it, but to clarify again, to make sure I understand, you are selling it to individuals and to businesses, zoos, airports, etc.?
Yeah,
Both
that's
sides?
correct. That's correct.
And for them to resell again?
So it's like the individual solution that focus to the consumer market. So the consumers can buy the individual product directly. They can attach with their valuable assets, and those can be tracked through the app directly. But for example, the hospitals or maybe hotels and resorts or maybe an amusement park. So it's so large. It doesn't cover within the range of Bluetooth, right? So we use that gateway devices, and through that we make a mesh repeated network through which it can cover all different longer areas. So for those areas, they have to buy a solution from us. We have to customize the web app or maybe a mobile experience and those kind of stuff. And we recently building a solution for the zoo in Denver. So in Denver, they have a very huge zoo area, and for them, we built an app as well as become a solution for them so that within the zoo area, you can have a navigation, which is a great part because people are getting a lot of confusion where to go. They have a lot of maps there, but still it definitely confuse you, and the GPS can't work in those areas. Thank you.
Sort of a follow-up question for that. So, for example, on the zoo in Denver, so how much money do they pay for that? For the service. I mean, do you have some idea of the cost involved in the revenue?
Yeah, sure. Right now, the zoo solution that we are building is without gateway solution that we are pushing. We are pushing the without gateway solution to them. So it doesn't have any recursive cost involved. So it's a one-time cost involved to them. And what we are customizing here for them is the tracker device works with the battery. It's a battery-powered device, right? And we are building it with the solar-based options for them, so that could be a robust solution that can be fixed into the zoo area, and they don't have to worry about changing the batteries and those stuff. So the tracker device ultimately emit their identity, and we are building that mobile app. So whenever you are moving and the mobile app getting any kind of proximity of the tracker device, through that technology we can show the particular location on the map. So that's what the technology we are building for the zoo area. So there you don't have to go with that gateway device. Whenever the gateway device comes into the picture, it goes in a model of user-based revenue. But in this model, they are just paying the one-time cost for the app customization as well as for the product that we are customizing for them and then going to install them.
One more question.
Yeah.
Did you say you have a patent?
Yeah, we do have patents. Yeah, it's in India and
Talk about that a little bit.
We had the patent is published in 2016. Until now, there is no any objections came, but it's not yet patented. It's patent pending.
Okay.
Yeah.
So are you doing just proximity tracking, or are you doing the signal strength based triangulation?
It's a signal strength based regulations. Whenever the gateway comes into the picture, so that's the role of the gateway, and through the multiple gateway, we can have a more accuracy up to the 5 meters.
So what sort of precision are you getting?
5 meters.
5 meter precision. On how many triangulated?
3.
On 3. Thank you.
My question is legality based. So if the power grid in the zoo in Denver goes down, as well as the battery life expired,
It doesn't have battery. We are building it with the solar-based solution for the zoo.
Either way, let's say you can't track this animal that escaped, who's liable?
Can you repeat the question? We are not tracking the animals.
Say it again.
We are not tracking the animals. We are putting the tracker device near to the animal area where the animal is located. So through that, you can able to see where you are moving into the zoo area. So for example, you have a wish to see that, the penguins, and the penguins is on a very, on a different area, which is difficult to navigate through their maps. But through this technology, you can see on a map that where you are exactly currently, standing and on which direction you need to go to the particular place that you want.
So it sounds like a mapping service, not tracking.
Yeah.
In this scenario.
Yeah, in this use case, yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, in your school scenario, how are you using this?
The school scenario is the use case, one of the use case. That's one of the use case, but we didn't currently targeting that use case right now. And the product solution for the school use case is this type of wearable belt.
Tracking student.
Yeah, tracking student. So we are building one of the hybrid solution as in the 2015 plan, and that hybrid tracker solution will have complete tracking within a school from the from your student goes to the school bus and comes back to the home. Everything can be tracked, even which lectures they have attended in each classrooms and everywhere, like in a play area they are going. So everything can be tracked through that. So the solution is like we are putting the individual gateway into each classrooms and to the different sports and different areas of the school, and through that we can have their all the logs on the phone onto the parents' phone. But that's a next market. Might be once we cover up this solution, then we go with that wearable product-based solution.
So first off, with the schools, it seems like you would have a lot of privacy concerns there. I can see parents maybe putting this to their kids, but their kids are already have a phone, and those are generally in schools generally have Wi-Fi, and so as far as the school goes, if the school were to try and institute this, at least a public school, I don't see it going through, just through privacy concerns. And then, individual parents maybe, but every kid has a phone, and every school has Wi-Fi, and so as far as the school goes, I'm seeing some problems there, but like this gentleman said, it seems like this is like there's more potential in the mapping technology. As far as tracking goes, I mean, most devices already can be tracked. I mean, as far as outdoor, this is using Bluetooth, so your range is dead. But as far as mapping, like you said in the zoo, where it's not tracking an asset, but using this technology to map and ascertain your own location within somebody else's venue, I can see a lot more going for that. But so do you have more of a focus in the mapping technology, like what you're doing for the Denver Zoo, or is this tracking, or are you focusing more towards tracking?
We are more focused on the map-based technology, and that's what our targeted market is. So in the airport, it helps you to navigate. So that's again a map technology. The zoo area, the shopping mall area, and the hotels and resorts. So all are the use cases of mapping rather than tracking. But this device can help for tracking as well. So those are the different use cases that we covered, but we are not focusing right now onto those markets. As you said, there's a couple of challenges like the school example you gave. So it's good for the private schools and private hospitals.
But in prison it might work.
Thanks. I find it very interesting, but kind of to follow on that last question, it seems like a large part of the work you have to do is a customized map or floor plan of a particular location, and so your technology, the hardware may be sort of what it is, but there's a lot of work in customizing it for each and every customer. And so could you talk about how you do that efficiently?
Yeah, so that's a good question, and I like to answer. So we thought about that question when we were starting this product idea, and so we come up with the idea that rather than doing customization onto the web application, which, as you said, which goes a lot of complication, we make the system completely dynamic, so it doesn't take more time to customize. What we do is we take the 2D drawing of the particular area where we need to install the system. So through that 2D drawing, so let's say it's a 5-floor building, and we need to track all the rooms into the 5-floor building. So we ask the particular the company to share us with the 2D drawings of the same, and we put that 2D drawings into our system, and the receiver devices, the gateway devices. So we place that gateway devices onto the particular map through drag and drop through the web app. So that access is given to the admin, so they can put it, they can calibrate it, and that's it. That's customized. So it's completely dynamic. So no need to do any stuff of coding or programming or the program change. There's no need. It can be done on web app.
I love this a lot. And I had a use case where I thought I may have invented it myself this past week. I went to the fair with my 2 children, 4 and 8. And when I walked past the place where you can mark your kid, you get a little wristband and you write your phone number and name on it in case they get lost, so that they call you, which is kind of terrifying. And when I go up there and I sign my name and my phone number, the lady had told me there had already been 83 missing children. I was about halfway, when I attended the fair. 83 missing children at one point, and 3 were elderly. And so my husband and I thought, man, I wish I could just put a chip on my kid right now and follow it in an app, so if they got lost, I could just find it. I wouldn't have to wait for them to eventually find a police or another person. And the fair is really big, and it gets really crowded, and it's really easy to get lost. And so it's a pretty valuable asset. It's a pretty good thing I'd want to track, and it happens at a lot of different venues and things like that. So my question, obviously it's personal and would matter a lot, and I would be interested, but if you were to do this for the fair, and I went to the children's station, and would I have to buy one of those chips or bracelets, or are you proposing that someone like the fair would offer that and bring that back, or would you be charged, or how would the logistics work for a really highly good possible use case like that?
That's a fantastic use case actually, and a lot of people do have that need, and that's one of our focus for millions of people. So we are not only just thinking about that use case, we are thinking the 2 use cases. One is the kids tracking, and the another is pet tracking. So both are so much important thing, and it's hard to find them. People worry a lot for that, right? So the challenge that we have right now with kid tracking, the current solution that we built, that just a Bluetooth-based solution. So it's not that much of helpful to have a real-time location, but within the periphery where the system is installed, it can work out of that periphery. We cannot have the location into the outdoor area. So that's the reason we are building in the next product plan is hybrid tracker. So it will have indoor tracking as well as the outdoor tracking, and so within the small size we are putting a GSM, GPS and the indoor tracking technology that we have built, and through it we can able to have a solution which can help for the kids as well as the parents.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's give them a round of hand.
Thank you. Thank you all.
All right, well, thank you so much for coming out to 1 Million Cups this morning, and thank you to both of our presenters. If you have any questions about 1 Million Cups, find me or anyone who is running questions today. We'll be more than happy to answer your questions. If you have questions about the deck, find Emmanuel or Rachel. Rachel's in the back. Thank you so much for coming out. If you haven't signed in when you came in, we'd really appreciate that. You don't need to put in your email, but it does help us get insights on stuff that we can do and content that we can bring that can help the community. So I appreciate that. Thank you so much for coming out this morning. Have a great Wednesday, everyone. Thank you.